Hello, everyone. This is Ty Slatter, and welcome to a very special edition of Real Talk with Ty. And I'm here with our lovely guest of the hour, Amirah King, aka Magic Shots, aka Soul Waves. I don't keep up with all the names now,
I
so
know it.
oh, we got a fly in.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, oh, is that gonna throw off the cameras?
It's gonna throw us off more than anything.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me pause.
special guest that we didn't ask for.
Can we clap him?
Sticking me with.
Can we clap him?
Mm.
Plus until at 13, plus to get the gas, get the gas, get the gas.
All right, get up there again.
Goodness gracious.
So, for those who don't know, with all of your various titles and definitions, who is Amirah King?
Hmm. I feel like I am someone that is constantly kind of recreating themselves and just adding to who I am. So, with that being said, my foundation has been in, um, I would say, a combination of basketball, music, and just creativity in general. Um, my mediums have kind of changed and evolved just over time, but yeah, I'm kind of was it a Jack, a Jane of all trades?
Good save.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades. So I know you. I know from the early days of Magic Shots being more so photography.
Mhm.
I watched you evolve into videography. But let people know, what does Magic Shots do now and how that led to Soul Waves. We're gonna segue into that.
Gotcha. Um, So the title, I guess I kind of go by more so now is just a creative producer.
Mm.
So I'm taking all of my um years in exploration between photography, graphic design, now video, and just kind of using all those skills to do what I do now. So um, at Vision Studio, I'm the production manager.
Okay.
So I get to kind of um, like I said, just use all these different skills that I've picked up over time to um, essentially like manage a team and help guide um, not only myself but um, the team to just get better. Just I would say a combination of career and personal development. Um, I'm big on self improvement in every way. So um, yeah.
Okay. I see how you save yourself from going into a tangent.
Yeah.
Good. But so I have the pleasure of watching you evolve.
Mhm,
You went from, a ball player.
mhm.
And I remember this particular time in your life in high school where you transitioned, you put the ball down and picked up the camera. But people that don't know, I'm gonna share a little fun fact for Amira. One of her favorite players, if not her favorite basketball player, is Penny, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Penny Hardaway. If you know, you know, do your research, right? One of the greatest what ifs in NBA history by far, right? Had a good moment in Orlando, dealt with nagging injuries throughout post the Shaq era. Um, you named your camera Little Penny.
Yeah.
Did you know that you were gonna go into that career path while you were playing ball? And if so, what inspired you to pick up the camera and put down the ball more than anything? What was the inspiration behind it? Because I don't think a lot of people know that.
So looking back at it now, I can't say that I knew for a fact, but like as an adult, I kind of forgot this. But in elementary school,
Okay.
uh, the elementary school I went to, Crestview, their whole um, foundation, if you will, their whole curriculum was in media and communication. So
Okay.
I actually had a moment in time like I forgot that I was producing the morning news.
Yeah, we had new segments and yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
what I'm doing now, literally switching I did that same thing at like 5, 6, 7 years old.
Wow.
Like they were teaching us at that age. And it's funny how life kind of plays out and brings you right back to it.
Yes,
And
I agree with that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I probably didn't answer your question, but what was the other part?
No, you're good. You're good. I wanted you to tell the story of what inspired you to pick up the camera.
Mm-hmm.
If you could remember, maybe I mean, you just told your story of your earliest time doing being a producer,
Yeah.
but what inspired you to pick up a camera, and what was it about taking photos that inspired you to take it as far as you've taken it? Because that's a story in itself. I feel like people need to know.
Okay. So
If you can remember that far, that was a little while ago.
yeah.
Take your time.
So I would say I think at one point playing ball,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of became, to a degree, depending on where I was at, I kind of became the center of attention, and I didn't always like that or know how to handle
Mm.
the things that come with being, the leader or the point guard or whatever, the
I think she's trying to
responsibility
get
that
Lottie to
comes
say
with
she
that.
was nice on the court. I think that's the way to say it. That what you're trying to say without saying it.
I don't know. I gotta take y'all where I didn't get to see myself play like that, but
You ain't got no footage out there, like archive footage.
unfortunately, no. It's so sad.
That's
I wish I had more, but
yeah.
um,
I feel you though. We didn't think our era didn't think to start recording stuff until like we got to college. In my opinion,
right.
end of high school, going to college, we didn't document nearly as well as we should have. Now people have like Polaroids. You might have some photos,
Mm-hmm.
championship trophy, things like moments that you
Yeah, I think I got more photos
snapshot it. Yeah,
for sure.
we were a snapshot era. I feel like the
Facts.
kids that like our younger siblings probably they're the more film everything.
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad, doesn't matter.
And that's me
Keep the
now. Like
camera.
I film
Oh,
everything.
definitely. We've had to catch up. Like, oh, they figured it out. The
Yeah.
ones behind us, for those of you that got siblings, they're about 3 to 5 years age difference. I feel like that era understood document and film everything because that footage will last well after we're gone.
Mm-hmm.
We figured the photos. We were thinking about that with the Polaroids, which have made a great comeback, by the way. I'm sure you're familiar with that. Watching how Polaroids have
I'm a
made their
fan.
way back.
Yeah,
Retro, we like that kind of stuff.
definitely.
But I think we were the snapshot era,
Mm-hmm.
and telling a story through a photo album.
Yeah,
They
for
were
sure.
the library, the social media, the archive posts,
Mm-hmm.
collages, reels, stories,
Right.
highlights. So I think that's a generational thing.
Definitely.
So taking that moment right there with the camera, and because I don't want to jump around too much, I want to kind of build.
Mm-hmm.
You put the ball down, you picked up the camera.
Yeah.
You're getting photos, you're getting really good, getting angles. I know personally, great work. Uh, what was the moment that you said, I want to start shooting music videos? What was that moment that said, I think I could do it? I'm gonna go for it.
Um, my love of music started
Okay.
again in my early stages. I have, memories of being in my parents' room, going through their CDs and um,
Yeah. Vinyls, tapes,
yeah,
whatever.
man,
They
all
still
of
got it.
that.
All of that. Yeah.
My mom was in the choir, um, and so music was again part of my core foundation, and I just like exploring the different sounds that they had in their collection. And, you know, our generation, I feel we raised ourselves to an extent. Like we
Latchkey
were
kids,
left,
the term. Yeah,
yeah, we
definitely.
were at home by ourselves before and after school. And so the thing that was always a constant was the music. And so um, before school, I'm watching, what is it? We didn't have cable at one point. So what was it? The Indies Music Channel.
Oh yeah. Oh, we had so we had channel 53 at one point in Indy,
Hmm.
and it later became MTV2.
Yeah,
But we
yeah,
had IMC, and before that we had video music bots. If you
yep.
remember that, where you could call the numbers and request certain music videos to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I used to sneak up at 3 a.m. watching that until I get caught. My mom and go back to bed. So I get to see
Yeah.
the Jay Z, DMX, Ja Rules, and the late '90s Def Jam, Rockefeller era music. Of course, you got your Mace and Puff.
So me,
that's
in the
that's
morning, the stuff that was coming on, like the MTV2
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, that's where I learned to appreciate like the verse music. So they played like a lot of the alt rock, pop punk.
Mm-hmm. I actually, if I remember correctly, I first saw Rihanna's music on IMC. That's when I first started getting introduced to Rihanna's first album. Like,
Yeah.
Ponde Replay played a lot on that channel.
Yeah, reggaeton. They play all the
Ponde
reggaeton
Replay.
stuff.
Yeah, that was big. That was big.
So yeah, that's why like the rotation of music that I'll be attracted to first is pretty much the stuff that I grew up listening to.
Absolutely.
You stay in that wheelhouse, and I've learned to venture out into different genres and sounds as well. But that's where it all came from for me.
Okay. So, because that kind of answered the question, but we left a little bit part of it. So,
Gotcha.
was it those videos that inspired you to shoot a music video? Like, when did you have that moment in your head that I could take my photography ability and make a video, a film out of it? Can you particularly pinpoint that moment where you said, "I'm going to give it a go and see where it takes me"?
So I think it's a combination of two things. One being like after I got so many years under my belt with taking the stills, it became a point where I was just like, well, the still isn't really capturing everything that I want to say, or it's not telling the whole complete story as much as I want to. And I kind of need the camera to keep going to fill in the gaps that I was witnessing personally, but people can't see or get that same story
Right.
just by looking at a photo. And like you can do so much, you can only do so much with your captions and whatnot, unless you're going to write a full article. And at the time, I wasn't one for really trying to write a full blown situation with my photos. So I think having a lot of friends and connections that were into music, like yourself, and just the people that I became cool with throughout school. That's kind of what got me into the music video aspect. I wanted to explore that a little more, because it always looked super cool with the different the lighting always caught my attention, the stories that was being told throughout the videos, and I felt like I could try my hand at that and do that same thing.
Okay. So the reason why I wanted you to share that story is because there are other photographers out there that'll hear that story and probably had the exact same frustration you had. Yeah, like the angles, great photos, but they don't tell the whole story. So now, what they may have thought was out of reach or not in their lane, they'll be inspired by hearing your story of, well, she started out doing the same thing I'm doing, and she shoots whole videos. So it's possible. Because some people just, they have to see it to believe it. And other people hear other people's testimonies and be like, you know what? I need to hear that because I had a little voice in my head telling me I could do it, but I wasn't. Some of us are scared to take that next step. But then you hear somebody that took a similar path, if not the exact same path, went for it. Look how it turned out. So we're fast forward a little bit. So we're years forward. You got your photography experience. You got your love for music that never dissipated. You still keep an ear to the sports world from time to time. Tap in, tap out, right? So I'm bringing them on the journey, right? Because this is a very brief version because I got a chance to live it, and it's a lot of twists and turns, right? So we have basketball, we got music, we got photography, videography. How do we take all four of these elements that are careers by themselves? There's four careers in one person so far. Keep count. We're at 4, right? We're gonna go into new age elements because I'm not gonna skip that.
Oh wow!
I was gonna leave that out, right?
Yeah.
Because now we're talking fashion. Okay, so I want you to tell our lovely audience what about fashion inspired you to say, I want to start my own clothing line?
Yeah.
If you can remember your earliest moment of saying, maybe it was a music video, maybe it was a photo shoot you did for someone that you said, I would love to be able to dress my muse. I would love to do a photo shoot and somebody have my logo with it. Now you probably you can even tell them how you came up with the name even if you want to. We'll get to that too. But
Yeah.
was it a particular moment where you maybe was taking a photo or shooting a video and saying it would be that much better if I could dress the person that I'm shooting?
Honestly, I think New Age elements came about because when it comes to, like, the music aspect, the generation we grew up watching,
Mm-hmm.
they had the certain, like, brands and designers that were, like, popular at the time.
Okay.
So
So
a lot of
are
my
you saying like
inspirations
Sean
was
John Rockaware? Are you speaking like on that or something
yeah,
else?
more so just depend on the artist.
Okay.
So when I think of that stuff, I'm thinking like because I like Aaliyah, I'm thinking like she was wearing Tommy Hilfiger.
True.
I like the brand. Was it Cross Colors?
Yeah, Cross Colors was we were, in my opinion, too young to capture Cross. We were Carl Kanai.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
Nas was Carl Kanai. Then you had Fubu. That this is the so we Cross Colors was the start of it though. So I'm not taking none away. That's history. But we being '90s, mid '90s babies, like early to mid '90s, we kind of missed the cross color era because that was like
Yeah.
crisscross jump.
Right. And I love color blocking. That
Oh
was
yeah,
my thing. Like I like
it made a great
the
comeback, but
style.
we didn't get to catch the first run.
Yeah.
We grew up on the Carl Kanais,
Mhm.
Fubu,
Mhm.
obviously, like I mentioned, Sean John,
Right.
Rockaware, um, trying to make sure I
Fat
don't
Farm was huge at one point.
Fat Farm and Fubu kind of go hand in hand
Mhm.
with Russell Simmons and Draymond John,
Mhm.
Damon John. I don't like I always want to call him Draymond Green. Their names always look similar to me, but yeah. So Fubu, Fat Farm, which obviously led to Baby Fat. Of course, we were part of that era too. Then you got Nelly's Apple Bottoms.
And all of that.
All of that goes into that's all 2000s right there.
Right.
So with New Age, was that what you had in mind, or
So
what was the thing that sparked you to go ahead and create your own for clothing?
New Age Elements was the product of me working a 9 to 5. Where was that? I was at the Dillon in Bloomington,
Bloomington.
and uh, yeah, that was like my first like hardcore full-time job situation where
Okay.
I was able to work my way up to management, but with that came, I kind of had to sacrifice my creative time
Don't
with photos. And so there'll be moments throughout the day where I might be able to, if I have a creative design or whatever come to mind, I might have enough time because I'm on my computer to. It was easier to do like graphics in that situation as opposed to setting up time outside in terms of like photo shoots. So that was my creative outlet
Okay.
to for that situation. So yeah, and then it's always a nice feeling when you create something, can put it on something tangible like tees or shoes and whatnot, and you get to wear it. I think that's special, and I think we all, in our own way, want that.
We do.
So
Yeah, I felt
that's
that.
what that was. That it hasn't gotten to the level that I foresee it yet in terms of like publicity or whatever,
Yeah.
but I bought, the samples to have for myself, and my immediate circle all knew what was going on and supported. So it served its purpose for that time.
I want to make sure they're following us now. So keep up. Now we're about 4 or 5 careers in one person. Because all of these things we've mentioned,
Yeah.
somebody could take one of these elements of you, right?
Right.
And run with it for a whole career.
That's the other thing. That made me think. So I'm kind of jumping ahead just a little bit.
Here you go.
But it made me think of something I was reminded of the past couple years was that like my grandmother, she kind of did some of the same thing in terms of um, a clothing brand.
Mhm.
She she used to have her own uh, like a shop in like a flea market type situation. But
Yeah,
before that,
like a boutique.
yeah, and then
Or if it's a flea market, she had her own booth.
yeah, she
Yeah.
had her own booth, and then the lady that she worked with, Miss Jacobs, they designed and they did embroidery
Okay.
in their shop.
Yeah.
So she actually embroidered. I don't know what year that was. Maybe it was like 96.
Oh,
The
96?
Olympics. Yeah, the 96
Okay.
Olympics. She did their stuff for the Olympics. I'm just like, everything is,
Oh, it's all connected.
yeah, it's all connected,
yeah,
and I just think
definitely.
that's why I think it's great.
I did not. I literally learned that today, and I've known this woman for over a decade, and I just learned that today.
Yeah,
It's the first time
it's
I've heard
pretty
you break
fresh
it
for
down.
me, so don't feel bad.
That's no. But it's again, you're telling your story and making those connections to the ones before us that laid down the pavement, whether we knew it or not at the time.
Right.
Because we want to be ball players and we want to be artists, and not knowing we have family members that have already tapped into the things that we're doing now. I have stories like that myself, and maybe one day when I'm sitting on the other chair,
Yeah, I got you.
I'll tell that story.
Got you.
But for those who's following us, because I know everybody's attention span in 2024 is that long. We have a ball player that transitioned into videography going into fashion. Now we're gonna go into soul waves. I told you we're 5 now.
Yeah,
All right, this is the 5th one. All these things are if you have a one track mind and your mind doesn't do what ours does and cartwheels and go all over the place, they can take any of these paths you've walked and run with it.
Right.
So soul waves, what is soul waves entertainment?
So Soul Waves is a modern take on the original record label, right?
Okay.
And how everything is content now.
Yes, it is.
So
They call music content now. It
right.
blows me now that they're going that route with music now. But yeah.
So
we'll get into that later.
my whole idea was to make this record label more like a media label, because that's just the way the world is going, and music, has always to an extent required visuals, but even more so now, especially for just musicians in general. So Soul Waves is a combination of um, a holistic artist development focus. We want to educate our musicians about the business side and the industry, and we want to make sure that they have the resources they need to take care of themselves, mind, body, spirit, soul. So yeah.
What was the pivotal moment that you were doing any and everything that you've touched on so far, and you said, I want to run a media label? What was that defining moment?
What are we in? The end of 2004. I will say,
2004? You mean 2024?
yeah, my bad.
I've noticed other people do that too. Like, no, seriously, I'll be on different sites and people will say the end of 2004. I'm like, maybe they meant another two.
I missed the number.
Fraudulent slip. But go ahead.
In terms of actually putting in the time and energy to like flesh it out,
Groundwork.
I'll say 2022. 2022
Okay.
is when I started kind of laying the groundwork for the King Studio.
That time's fast. Don't feel like it's been that long. Okay.
I know.
Wow. Them 2 years clicked off fast.
Very fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was, what's his name? Cam Kirk, I believe, photographer out of Atlanta.
Okay.
He shaped his photography studio to be like the record label for photographers, right?
Okay.
And I really like that framework. Just, you know,
Was it because it's just something different, or was there a organizational
what do you mean?
design? What about it made it stand out to you?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think just like how he phrased it, and it connected with me, just given the fact that I like music and I had that foundation in those two areas, music and photography. So I was like, that made sense for me in terms of the type of business that it was. And I think he kind of built like a roster, like a label roster, and would include other photographers within his company. And I was just like, that's actually kind of perfect and kind of right up my alley.
Would it be considered like a Rolodex, or creating like a collective, like a database,
Yeah,
like a physical database of photographers?
yeah,
So that way, this person can't do it because they got to shoot. We got other people we can refer you to that are within our network, like a
mhm,
network of photographers, versus having to outsource or reach out to people you may not know or have a working relationship with. But all these people that are in this particular network all work together, have a working relationship. So if somebody's not available for a shoot, we can call this person, and we have a few other people we can choose from. Just work our way down the list.
right,
Next shooter up, if you will.
yeah. I
Okay.
think that collective um, word as a whole is really good and useful
Okay.
in that space as well as the music. So yeah.
Okay. So we've just about gotten everybody up to speed because
Mhm.
went from 2022 to now. How did you become a part of the Vision Studio team?
That's a great question.
I mean, it's only right. I mean, you got the shirt on, so I gotta ask.
So
Gotta ask.
I met Ahmad uh throughout my time in Bloomington, um, working at the Dillon,
Okay.
and um, I'm not sure. You know how when you meet somebody in certain situations, for me, like when I meet certain people, it'll be something about them that kind of like, not they don't glow, if that makes sense, but like certain people like glow in a way that they stick out to you. And he
Right.
was one of those people for me. And at the time, I didn't really know why, but um, yeah, we were always cool. And one day he asked me to help him with like his um, wedding videos or whatnot.
Okay.
And I mean, I didn't have any wedding video experience at the time, but he was always willing to um, teach. And so,
So he's like a mentor.
yeah, yeah, facts. Yeah,
Okay.
for
We
sure.
all need one, definitely.
Um,
Mentorship is very important in the space we're in.
and so, yeah, he's just always a super down to earth person and willing to share and extend himself and the resources that he had. So, um, yeah, I went on a couple of wedding experiences with him and learned what I could. And then when I end up having to kind of relocate, um, we stay in touch here and there, um, just to see if we will be able to kind of reconnect in different spaces, because I think he had a wedding or two in terms of opportunities in Tennessee where I was at the time. So, he reached out for that. And then there was a situation when I was in Tennessee as well where I needed some advice on if I was going to, participate and take on a similar role, kind of doing it by myself or with somebody else, or just having him come do it and just do it with him.
Right.
So, um, yeah, I had no clue in terms of him wanting to have, I guess, a studio
Mm-hmm.
or that he was planning this, but um, it was really just a phone call and him,
Right.
you know, tell me what was going on. And up until like he's always um, shown himself to be um, a great person to work with and just a solid individual.
Okay.
So when he called and asked me, it was just like, oh yeah, it's time for me to go anyway. So let's do this.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Ty. This is your host Ty Slatter here with the lovely Amirah King of Vision Studio, but we also know her as Magic Shots and all these other wonderful titles that we've had a chance to break down and really get a chance to get your journey. I think it's the first time you've ever really told your story because you're so busy helping everybody else tell their story, right? Well, before we dive into some more questions that you know our producers have put together for this, I want to talk about this or that. It's a game that we play with our guests that we make some comparisons and see which one you choose and give us a little brief description as to why you chose that one over the other one. You
Okay.
want to play? You sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Skittles or M&M's?
M&M's.
Why? Because now I don't know. I don't feel like I know you anymore. See now. I thought we was cool.
I
Man.
feel like Skittles is you, and
wait a minute. What's that supposed to mean?
cause definitely M&M's because
Wow.
my parents, my mom loves M&M's.
No, my parents do too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
They
So
love the peanut. They love
unfortunately, I
the peanut
inherited
M&Ms
that.
too. They love the yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was real big on those. Yeah, well, rest in peace to pops, man. He loved the peanut M&Ms. I had to start with that one because that's a universal debate right there. Okay, I got one for it's music. All right, this one here is a biopic challenge. Temptations, 5 Heartbeats.
Okay, don't take my black card, but I mean, I ain't watched them like that. I remember them being on all the time on like BT and they have it on repeat, but I never sat down to like watch them.
I'm in tears.
I know, sorry.
I'm crushed.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have my producers edit that one out. Yeah, they like what? She didn't get to see that. Those are classics. But all right. So, this would be a good one. Okay, hip hop or R&B?
There's only one right answer. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, you
Tough.
trying to make this controversial?
But
Just having such a great interview. Don't do that now.
I have to say,
Stay true to yourself, though.
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be R&B.
Yeah, but why? See, I want you to tell them why. I knew the answer, right? I wanted you to tell them why. Why does R&B reign supreme in your opinion? Because for all you know, it might be universal.
Because every rapper wants to sing.
But not every singer wants to rap.
But 9 times out of 10, the singer can't rap.
Can or can't?
Can.
Oh yeah, rap's easy. Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Singing takes work. You gotta have the patience, the confidence to get in front of people and hold a note at the minimum. Protect your vocal cords. You know how Indiana weather gets. You gotta have your neo scarves. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have, 4-5 layers around your vocal cords. Like it's so much more that goes into singing. So I hold the utmost respect to R&B because it takes so much more effort and in the writing process.
Yeah.
As somebody that writes music, I'll be the first to tell you, as much as I love R&B, writing a song, that's R&B versus rap, it just takes more time, in my opinion. Now, there's probably some people out there that can, same way I write a 16, they could write a Grammy nominated R&B record, and that's just a gift.
Yeah.
So props to the Chris Browns and Tanks of the world, the Marvin Gayes, the guys that could, not only sing the notes and hit those notes, but write those ballads, those timeless, not just ballads, timeless ballads, right? Sorry, I know we playing this and that, but we had to go, we had to dive off a little bit. But let's do basketball.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it penny versus. I want to see.
Oh my gosh. You can switch it up. You
You don't want
trying to go at him, look.
You don't want to throw Penny into the you know what I'm saying, to the competition. That's cool. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan.
I mean, I didn't watch Mike, so not like that.
I'm surprised you still got a black card at this point. You didn't watch
I'm
Temptations.
just being honest. That's not my. I don't have that experience.
Okay. We 90s baby. So let's go into 2000s. All right. So Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony.
You know me, I analyze everything.
You're supposed to. That's why. That's why I picked basketball, because I know it's not something that you can just answer and just be done with it. You gotta like break it down. They both Hall of Famers in my. I mean, Vince.
It depends on what
They're both Hall of Famers.
on what I'm
Melo
basing it
next year.
off of, cause I really like Carmelo Anthony and his game.
For sure.
Um,
He didn't play defense, but everything else was beautiful. Beautiful offense though.
but if we talking just like straight up like
Athleticism.
that and just entertainment, of
Okay.
course, when you think Vince Carter, you're thinking dunks.
Mhm.
But
I didn't do. I could have said Vince versus T Mac, his cousin. That would have made it harder for you, because both of them were electrifying and entertaining,
yeah,
and could win games too.
hmm
So I try to make it easier for you, giving you Melo.
yeah, I think overall, in terms of just game,
Mhm.
that's really hard actually. I'm just gonna go say Mellow.
Okay, no, that's cool. That's cool. Let's go. Let's get some love to the ladies real quick. So, we're gonna do it like this: Candace Parker, Asia Wilson.
Mm-mm. I don't want to do that.
What? Why not? They both play the same position. I'm not. I'm not even trying to make it that difficult. I'm giving you the same position, so you can really look at their game and their impact on the culture of the game as well.
That's very tough. If we were playing that other game, I would have to take a shot.
So that okay. I'll go back to the NBA for this one.
Yeah.
LeBron James, Magic Johnson.
I don't know if I'm a LeBron hater. I don't want to put myself in that
No,
boat,
no, no,
but
no. You're giving. You played the game.
yeah.
You know me over GTA Sports. When I have these kind of interviews with players and former players or people that have had some type of experience within the game outside of being a spectator, I want to know your knowledge of the game. So I'm gonna give you a history lesson or a history question to see, do you understand why I even put those two in the same conversation or the same sentence for that matter? Because I don't do the ESPN debate of who's the GOAT, LeBron or MJ, because I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah, that's tired.
They play two different positions. They're two different type of players. It doesn't make sense to make that comparison. They're not the same. They can be GOATs in their position, but you're not gonna put them in a debate.
Right.
MJ is MJ, and LeBron, when he's done, whenever he decides to put the ball down, is a GOAT in his own right. But I mean, the longevity alone, he's doing things that have never been done before at this age and stage of his career. But I asked you the Magic Johnson, LeBron, just because I mean, we're talking about somebody that's both 6'8", 6'9", roughly the same body build. They both have great passing ability. They both know how to galvanize a team. They know how to win.
I'm gonna say Magic because,
Okay.
like when
Give it to him.
LeBron and Carmelo first came out, I was a Melo
I was too.
fan.
I
So
was too. I feel like Melo should got Rookie of the Year, but yeah, we're why. Yeah, when you look at the Rookie of the Year stats, I'm like, Melo was better, and he took his team to the playoffs his first year. So we kind of know that the media kind of had a little spin on that. Like we already got LeBron as the chosen one, so kind of gotta give it to him because we already built him up. Melo, we'll take care of you later, eventually, hopefully, not so much, but
sometimes the media is just
yeah. All right, so let's do music. Let's go into some music, this or that. We dived into sports. I ain't done sports content in a while. Getting an itch, but so R&B, because you picked R&B earlier over hip hop. Would you rather have 70s R&B or today's R&B? The Lucky Days and Brent Faiyaz's of the world are watching.
I know.
Choose carefully. Chris Brown might see this and he might like hit you on Instagram. Nah, just playing.
Today, as in like the last 10 years today.
I'll say, well, I want to give it an era. So we're in the, I don't want to say the 2020s because we're still like in the early part. We're not in the mid yet. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say like the 2010s. Let's do that. Now I know that takes some of the newer ones out because they weren't making music yet that we knew, but I want to compare eras. That's what I'm saying. So I'll say 70s R&B. Because I don't want to, I really could have made it tough and said 70 versus 90s and really could have gave you a run for your money because both of them had legendary people, like musical Hall of Fame level talent.
I'm probably gonna say In terms of just recognition,
Mm-hmm.
obviously I would say the more recent because I know it. But just going off of music and like I feel like some of its purest form and essence, I would pick probably the 70s just because at this stage in my life I appreciate um like instrumentation a lot more, and so the production quality is just like different and it's really intentional. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
um the earlier you go back. So yeah, I'll probably say 70s.
That's a good answer. I feel the same way. I think the 70s is not only did you have to have talent, um, if you didn't master something or have something mastered, you were willing to put the hours in to master it
Right.
instead of finding a cheat code or a plug-in or a particular piece of software that makes you sound way better than you do. You had to put the years, whether it be through the church, whether it be through a particular music teacher at your school,
Right.
putting the hours in after the class to master your craft of whether it's playing the piano, uh, mastering the bass, and then being able to read music, even
Right.
something that you don't even hear about anymore, is being able to read music.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I agree with that. I think the 70s is better for that aspect of they knew how to make a song about love and really stand on it.
Right.
Something that our generation we value love.
We just I
We
don't
hit them
know.
and quit them. It's a different type of
We be
vibe.
over it.
We're toxic now compared to now. It's funny because I actually was listening to a song that a little side story. I was listening to a song today about a Manhattan's called "Kiss and Say Goodbye," right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had those parts. Those are songs that they taught and they had dialogue in the beginning, right? So
Yeah.
the man's telling this woman that he can't see her anymore because they both have significant others. So the song is about telling your side piece you can't be my side piece no more.
I feel like there's a
But
lot more of that.
on the surface, it just says kiss and say goodbye. So you're thinking it's just a breakup.
Mm-hmm.
He's breaking up with his side piece because they both have significant other people that are being hurt by this union that they've created unofficially be outside of the relationship. They're making these songs in the 70s and it made it sound so
Right.
sensual,
Right.
but it was romantic still. It wasn't that like triple X rated
Mm-hmm.
sensuality. It was smooth. I'm wrong, but I sound right. You know what I'm saying? Like so I just feel like that era had that mastered,
Yeah.
you know. So I definitely agree with that answer on that. Um Canon or Nikon?
Well, I was Team Nikon due to a recommendation for school, and I think Ball State had some type of connection with Nikon, so that was my that was my introduction.
You paid your dues with a Nikon, is what you're telling
Yeah.
me. Okay. So you
Yeah.
and Nikon, y'all ain't it like this. Y'all
Yeah. I
okay.
almost
Oh, hey.
I won't speak on it,
You
but
know my grandfather, you know what I'm saying? His photography, he's got over 30 years in the game and he walking around with the big cannons. You
right.
know what I mean? So I didn't see the best of both worlds when the Canon Nikon debate. So I just thought I'd get your thoughts on it. But I mean I've seen you work with the Nikon. You've done amazing with that. So I think you guys have a great working relationship. I wouldn't want to catch you cheating with the
You
Nikon.
know, I've been
Yeah,
trying to
you've been loyal to the soil with the Nikon.
separate myself from the Nikon for a while now.
Really?
I'm surrounded by Sony's, and I really like Sony, but personally, my next upgrade is gonna be a Fuji.
Oh.
Cause I like the color. I like the colors that come with the Fuji. I think it's just nothing like it.
Well, for those young photographers out there up and coming, she dropping free game on y'all right now. She just threw out some names y'all probably wasn't even thinking of. I forgot Fuji even was a thing. That's
I
a name.
love Fuji so much.
But it's so low key. I know about Sony cameras. I'm a little familiar with those, but yeah, Fuji. That's a name I ain't heard. Wild. They used to be called Fujifilm. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ooh, camera history. Okay, that's all right. So let's get back into the interview. We're gonna lead. That was a good game though. I got some great insight on you on that. See, I learn something about you every time. Every time. Let's touch on the. I don't want to call it a hot button topic, but as a society, I feel like it's become more of a mainstream conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
that's mental health. Right?
Yeah.
can you share with our audience some of your up close and if you can get personal experience with mental health and how it's helped you in your career and inspired you to create to give the people that are dealing with mental health and mental health issues a
Mm-hmm.
voice?
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back. Pandemic, right?
Okay, 2020
I feel like that was a very pivotal moment in time for
for the
everybody.
world. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
And so that that period forced everybody to, stop and slow down and
Yes,
realize
yeah.
that they weren't
Well,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. Go ahead.
And so, me obviously being a part of that, um, it made me address the ways that I was trying to cope with um, the work load that I had in terms of um, professionally and then personally as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the last 4 years with my time in Memphis,
Right.
um, that was God's way of kind of like sitting me down so I could address, like I said, the ways I was dealing and coping with stuff, and then the
Mm-hmm.
ways that I wasn't. And um, when it comes to, we all have our different vices and whatnot.
Right.
And
Coping for sure.
so, yeah, it allowed me to see those things for what they were, and then also, work my way through them
Mm-hmm.
and, um, just kind of actually process it as opposed to like shoving it down somewhere and let it sit and fester. And it was hard, but definitely worth it.
Okay.
Um, Definitely a period of, isolation away from, my immediate like friends and connections out here in Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
being in a different location and really just having um, family. Um, yeah, it made me like see myself in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
and it also allowed me to kind of observe um, history, like family history, in a way that I hadn't really done before, or
Right.
that I felt like I was avoiding
Mm.
because it was uncomfortable and I didn't like how it made me feel, and I could no longer put distance between myself and um
Those challenges.
those challenges and
Right.
different people. So yeah, you had to sit in it and literally like work your way through it.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was gonna say, 2020, because everything was shut down for those 6 months or so.
Hmm.
Um, you had to look at yourself. You had to
Yeah.
do some reflection. You
Hmm.
had to, as you say, ask yourself, are you really okay? And
Hmm.
if there is something wrong, what is it? How did it get here? Why have we not dealt with it? And how can we solve it?
Right.
You know, I think everybody as a society that um, didn't take that time out to work on yourself, do it by all means. It'll make yourself. It'll hurt. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I agree with that. I'm glad that you were able to take the time out, like a lot of society had to work on yourself and come out on the other side a stronger person. I would like to think.
Hmm.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, about I'll give around probably about 10 years ago, trying to get this person to talk like this, night and day. You talk more now than you ever have. I'm glad. I mean, that's just growth in itself.
Hmm.
So props to you putting the work in and always striving for greatness. So I respect that. Speaking of striving for greatness, though, what skill sets, whether it be with your magic shots, New Age, Vision Studios, Soul Waves, what skill sets And personnel, are you looking to possibly collaborate with, partner with, build a working relationship with to make this vision of yours better?
That's a great question.
Still a 2 for 1.
Yeah. So really, at this point,
No particular order, by the way.
I just want to continue to kind of be the bridge between with always it's singers, songwriters, producers.
Right.
Um, with Magic Shots and Vision Studios, it's the visual creatives, so video, photo. The King Studio is more traditional art, so your painters,
Mm-hmm.
your illustrators, um, etc. Because they all serve very important purposes in
Mm-hmm.
terms of um, creation and just adding um, extra sauce to whatever it is that's happening in terms of communicating messages, whether they be business messages or the message of another creative, like a musician, a small business, etc. And so, yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
No, you're good. The question was asking you what skill sets or personnel are you looking for
Mm-hmm.
in each of your different branches and departments that you're a part of and that you're building.
Yeah.
That if somebody were watching this, they may have a talent or an ability that you already have, but you could use another set of eyes, another set of hands, a different perspective, a different level of talent that you might want to add to your roster, whether it be through like, and we already mentioned Magic Shots,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned New Age, you mentioned Soul Waves. You also broke down what King Studios was for, separating and classifying, if you will,
Yeah.
what King Studios for in classic traditional art.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then, of course, Soul Waves is more the holistic media label that you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned earlier. So that's more of a media outlet for the artists, the songwriters, singers.
So, so honestly, I think at the top of that list would be,
Mm.
um, I think it would be a music producer,
Okay, a producer. All right. So
and
now,
like an
now
engineer as well.
I was going to thank you. I'm glad you said that because I've been watching on various platforms. There's been a debate on what a producer is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when we hear producer, especially when you put the word music in front of it, beat makers get thrown into that because
Mm-hmm.
a beat maker can be a music producer,
Mm-hmm.
but a music producer doesn't have to be a beat maker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you have I know he's in hot water right now, but you got your Diddy's, right? Somebody who didn't necessarily make beats, had a collective of beat makers, and he would come in and maybe turn a knob or two, level some things out, throw some ad libs in, say this artist would sound good on this, and make the connections. Now he can be considered producer of the year without ever making a beat.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even probably picking the samples. Now, sometimes he did. There are stories of him picking out samples, but he has a collective of people that work underneath, behind the scenes, called the hitmen, like the Stevie J's of the world. A couple other guys. They'll be the beat makers that actually, whether it be with a guitar, pluck the strings, or find the sample and recreate the sample,
Mm-hmm.
or change the tune of the tone that it is delivered in. Um, so when you say a music producer, you said engineer because those can fit under music producer as well because it's umbrella. But
Mm-hmm.
you kind of broke it down when you said an engineer as well. So I'm glad you did that because that's been a debate what a music producer actually does.
Yeah. I feel like with the video production, like media production, I feel like I have to specify even more so now
You
for
do.
myself because of what I do with the videos and what I'm doing with that is considered a producer as well. So, um, I think, like you said, everybody plays a specific role,
Mm-hmm.
and some go together like that, and then others are very defined.
Right.
Everybody can't do everything, and that's okay
It's
because
true.
we don't
We're not supposed to.
necessarily, yeah, you don't want that all the time in every situation. But I think having an engineer is very vital, um, and the producer. is, someone that helps put it all together and make it make sense.
Correct.
But yeah.
Okay. So just because I know we kind of got away from a little bit about breaking down what a music producer can be, but you said you need, or it would be very beneficial if you had someone who was a music producer and an engineer. I would imagine you're saying two separate positions, so two different people, right?
Yeah.
Just to make sure we're clarifying that.
And then also, I would say, honestly, I have a whole list. Those would be definitely top two. And then I would say someone to assist with more so like
Marketing.
Yeah, marketing is someone that can help communicate my message in a way that can be received the way
that fits
it's meant to.
Marketing, promotion, marketing, advertising.
Yeah, because it's too much up here.
It is.
And
And
trying
if
to
you need somebody,
articulate it all the time it's a lot.
I go through that myself.
So
Yeah, understand. When it comes to soul waves, magic shots, new age, even Vision Studios, what skill set or personnel are you looking for to take your vision to the next level?
So I would say, personnel wise, music producer, engineer, marketing. It would be great to have a collection of venues.
Yeah, I agree with
So
that.
people that own
Lounges.
not necessarily a bar situation, restaurants,
Gotcha.
anywhere that has a nice, vibe to it.
With a
would be-
crowd that's receptive to performances, live performances,
Exactly.
and has the capabilities.
Yeah, in terms of the equipment and
Yeah, because that matters.
that's
That
very
definitely matters.
necessary. So, those are at the very top for me, in terms of types of people,
Yeah.
like characteristics wise. I would say, gotta be willing to learn, like as you go. Patient, because this I feel like what I'm building could take the time span of like several lifetimes. Like it's not gonna happen overnight, and I have to remind myself that daily because it's too much for one person.
It is.
So building a team
Building team.
is important for myself as well as the people that I'm working with, building their teams too, just making sure everybody's has the right people in place to, elevate.
All right. So, of course, we've gotten a chance to get to know who Amirah King is today. And I want to thank you for taking time out to sit with us and give us a snippet of your story, because I'm sure there's a lot more to come. And with all the different careers that you've started, I'm looking forward to seeing more from you.
Well, thank you.
So, thank you. Let our lovely audience know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and our websites. So the Instagram is SOLWAVESENT. Personal is THEIRISORACLE. And all of the information with the different services that we offer are on the link in bio. So that's where you can find me.
All right. This has been a special edition of Real Talk with Ty. You can follow our guest at the links mentioned. You can follow me at Ty Slatter, all right? And make sure you like, comment, subscribe to Ty Slatter on YouTube. And you can check out tyslatter.com for all the services and all of our links as well. And that's it.